who she works alongside at IMBS Inc. And we're going to talk about the evolution of IMBS, its brand, and how it's gone from an idea of Ida's to now a leading provider of medical billing services and a woman-owned company. Responsibilities galore with this business, with staff counting on the business for bills and overhead. I mean, we certainly all know what that's like if you've ever started a business. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Carrie Thornton is in the house. She's the general manager of IMBS, and Krista Ruggi is in the house, the assistant manager at IMBS. So we're going to have a lot of fun today on the Thursday edition of the I Love CVille show. Give it a like and a share anywhere you guys are watching before we start the program here. We would appreciate that. And if you want to hear just an amazingly positive story, get ready, because the IMBS story is pretty darn awesome. Juno Wickhauer, we are in your hands, my friend. Good Thursday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you so much for joining us. A glorious day to be alive here in Charlottesville and in Central Virginia. This program, guys, is going to be absolutely red hot today as we tell the story of IMBS Inc., just a phenomenal business that went from an idea in the founder's mind to a business that launched in her basement, and now 25 years later has got tremendous market share in the medical billing space and is hiring people left and right, guys. We'll tell the story of IMBS in a matter of moments as we welcome Ida Thornton to the program. She's the owner, Carrie Thornton, her daughter-in-law, the general manager, and Krista Ruggi, sister-in-law and assistant manager, here on today's show. Before we introduce the ladies, guys, Ting Fiber Internet is the crazy fast internet behind the I Love CVille network. We love our friends at Ting. When we made the transition from Comcast to Ting, it went so much better. It is night and day difference. And when we ever need to reach somebody on the phone at Ting, guess what? We're talking to somebody local and here in our country that can answer our questions right away, and we love that so much. Ting Fiber Internet. Scott Wagner at Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine, also a good friend of the show. Dr. Wagner has your back, and if you have not bought your tickets yet to Winter Wonder at the Boar's Head Resort, a holiday light show of epic proportions, guys. I've had a sneak peek of it. Winter Wonder is beautiful. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Let's go to the two-shot first, and let's welcome our friend Ida Thornton to the program. Ida, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Jerry. I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having us today.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. We cannot wait to tell this story of your business. You know we love to tell and showcase positive stories of local businesses that have done so well. Before we get to your brand and your business, how about an introduction to you, Ida, for everyone that's watching?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I just had a thought one day when I was at home and thought that I really wanted to be able to support my family and be able to work. My husband, who served in the community of Charlottesville for many, many years as a police officer, had crazy hours, and so juggling children and hours and work was really difficult. So I came up with an idea that maybe I could start a business. I didn't really know at the time what kind of business I wanted until I actually started to work for a wonderful doctor's office at the Charlottesville Wellness Center years ago. And Dr. Corin, who you all well know, really basically let me just run with my idea. I didn't really know how to go about doing what I was doing. I got online. I called the Small Business Administration. They were wonderful. They had all kinds of ideas for me, asked me to come in. We sat down, and within a week's time, I had a business plan.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Literally in your basement.
In my basement, in my pajamas one night, just sat there and decided this is what I was going to try.
Unbelievable. So here's the cool part of the show. If you want to interact with our guests, put your comments in the feed, in the comment section, and I will relay your props and your perspective to our guests. Erica Thornton McIver, is that your daughter?
It's my daughter.
She says,
Erica.
"Hi, Mama. You look so pretty." She's watching the program right now.
I did not pay her to say that, Jerry.
John Barner Jr. giving you some props.
My brother.
Patty Lunt giving you guys some props here. We got folks in Richmond watching the program, folks at Centera watching the show, Crozet watching the program right now. All right, so Ida, why don't we throw this to you here? You, what, did you feel compelled, you touched on this already, you felt compelled to be your own boss, to make your own hours, to have a little more control of your scheduling and your destiny?
Yes, sir.
Put in perspective that risk. I mean, because that's taking a risk right there, and how you manage that risk, and kind of showcase to the folks that are kind of considering doing this on their own, the scales of justice you had to weigh before making this decision. Because it's not an easy one.
It's not an easy one. It's actually was pretty scary. But I had such great mentors. Dr. Koren really was my mentor. And he, even though I worked for him, he understood that eventually I'll go out on my own. And he was okay with that. Having someone by your side like that really helps a lot. I weighed the risks of having my children in daycare, having my children going to different homes, and the time frame of my husband's job. I just kept thinking, I've got to do something so that I can be able to do it at night. I mean, there was many times where I was working at midnight because I was awake and everybody's sleeping, but I was, continually working from home until we got larger and we grew in the community.
Megan Smith Miller, she's giving you guys props. She works at IMBS, I believe. She says, "We work for an awesome business. Great job, sis," from Jeremy, watching the program right now. I love the family business. Johnny Ornalis owns El Mariachi in Guadalajara. He's watching the program, and he's giving you some love. When did you realize that this business was going to be one that was going to be like long-term, and it wasn't just like an idea and a hope, but it was like literally something that you could make a living out of?
I think it was about 5 years in.
Okay.
I wanted to quit probably every other month, but I kept going, and I kept having so many people encourage me. I trained a little bit at Centera. They had classes back then. I went to Piedmont and trained in some classes. And so many people, especially the Small Business Administration, and SWAM, which is the small community person for women and minority-owned businesses. They all gave me so much encouragement that I said, I can do this. And I think just knowing that there was such a need in the community, and then meeting so many wonderful providers who said, hey, I'm really interested in something like that, kept me going.
Your family's great for ratings, because there's so many people in your family that they're just watching left and right.
I have 10 brothers and sisters.
I see that. Another one is watching. Is it Teresa DeGulio?
That's my sister.
Oh, yeah, she says, "Hey, sister." She's watching the program right now. All right, so when you, Mariah Cassidy, you go, Ida. We love you. That's what she says with heart emojis. Patty Lime, you look wonderful, my sweet sister. I'm so proud of you. Lorraine Fenton Whalen, fantastic. Mary Robinson, another wonderful sister, is watching, and she says you are so great. Cynthia Starnes, Ida is the best. She treats her employees like gold. Zachary Rugi, way to go. Love you all. I mean, I can continue here. I love this. All right, Ida, why didn't you, so the next thing that we have to ask is, when it goes from being a business that has to support, say, you, to then bringing on staff. That's a completely another level of risk and responsibility. Walk me through what happened with your mind there when you're like, I need some people.
Well, my people were my daughter, my son, and my husband for a long time. And if you ask them, many nights while we were watching Little House on the Prairie or Waltons, we were stuffing envelopes. Because back then, nothing was electronic. So everything had to be done on paper. And then I realized one day we can't keep doing this at home, and we started getting more contracts and more people. So we rented a small little office out in Palmyra, and I had 2 employees, which I thought was just great. But we were in a room, probably an 8x8 room, all 3 of us, trying to make phone calls, this, that, and the other all day long. So I said, it's time to grow a little bit. More providers were interested. By word of mouth, I grew my business by word of mouth. Did a little bit of advertising on our own, but that's why we hired Jerry, because he's wonderful at what he does.
Thank you for saying that. Colleen Christian, coder biller working for IMBS. I love this company and these ladies. Dude, it says something, and I'm not even sure Judah would respond like this right here. It says something when the staff loves working for the company to the point where they go on social media and sing the praises of IMBS. On that note, why don't we welcome two more fantastic people to the program, and Carrie and Krista on the show here. Ladies, you're here in Ida, and you've seen the evolution of IMBS here. What's, Carrie, this business mean to you?
I've worked here for about 13 years or so, and I've seen it grow since, because it wasn't as big as it is now when I started, and it's grown a lot, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of Ida. She's my mother-in-law. I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of the business and where it's going. I like it.
You love working at IMBS.
Yeah.
How about introduce yourself to everybody that's watching?
Yeah. I'm Carrie Thornton. I'm the general manager, and I went to Elon University. I have two beautiful children.
Nice.
I'm married to Ida's son, and I have two German Shepherd Husky puppies.
Ooh, that are perfectly well behaved and need no training at all.
So perfect, yeah.
All right, we're going to get another of our favorite guests in the mix. Krista, introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
Krista Ruggi. I am married to Ida's brother, her baby brother. I have three children, two girls and one boy. I didn't know I liked medical billing until I started working at IMBS, and then I just fell in love. I like to fight for the claims that don't want to be paid, and I just really enjoy it.
These ladies, Ida, in this family business, what goes through your mind each time you wake up? My wife works in this business here, and a lot of times you will see her doing a lot of critically important, tasks for our clients, whether it's project management, schedule management, payables and receivables, a lot of the stuff that is unsung but critically important for the business. Put in perspective what it's like to work with family here at a business that you started.
Well, I have to say it's wonderful. First of all, because I know they always have my back. We may not always agree on everything that we're doing, but we always come to terms, and we always do what's best for IMBS. And let me just say, I've had many staff over the years, 25 years worth of staff, and I have loved every one of the people that have ever worked for me. And even though they've moved on and for many, many different reasons, they're what helped grow this business. And Carrie and Krista are what's helping me grow this business even more now. They have the knowledge, they love what they do, and it shows. And that's what's important to me, is because we're able to give back to our community, we're able to grow, we're able to help the providers do the part of the business that they don't have time to do. And things have changed so much that we're their right hand a lot of the time, just on the background.
I'm seeing a handful of doctors and some folks at Centera watching the show here. Put in perspective the relationship with your clients and how important they are to IMBS, and especially in a town like this, where the longer, and you've spent more time in this town than I have. I've been in this town for 21 years. The longer I spend in this town, I realize that, A, there's no secrets in this town. B, everyone is they say that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. In this area, it's 1 degree of everybody else. And you're going to find someone that knows you. So put in perspective, the importance of the reputation and the brand and doing things the right way all the time, and the importance and what you like about working with your partners in business.
Well, I couldn't be here without them. Every provider that we've ever worked for, we gave 110%. Our mission statement is to provide our clients with the best possible billing solution that we can, and also provide superior customer support. That is what we've always been about, and we have never changed that. We've never gone to a telephone system that's automated, as far as you'll never get a person on the phone. We try our best to cater to them and their needs. We don't have a one rule basic billing company. We cater it towards each practice and how different these practices are. And working with these practices and these providers have been such a blessing, because we have learned so much from them, and they've learned so much from us, so we're able to help each other, and that's really important to me.
I think that sets us apart too. The relationship, the personal relationship we have with our providers. Like all of our staff have relationships with the providers they work, and Ida and Krista and I have, know all of them, and we're just, we're close with them enough to.
Right, and also, while we might have somebody we're specifically assigned to and we're close with that provider, our whole team can work on any provider's account. Like if anybody was to call in, they could talk to anybody who picked up the phone, and we can answer questions on that account and help them find the solution to whatever question they have or to pay a bill or whatever.
Many of our providers walk in our office all the time. They'll come in for questions, they'll come in to give us our work, they'll come in and give us a treat. I mean, we feel loved by our providers, and we try to make them know that we love them just as much, just because we're all part of a community.
What's a day at IMBS like?
Well, when we get there on time, it's 7 a.m. No, we all get there on time. What's really nice is to see everybody come in and they want to be there. And what a difference that makes in your workday. As people actually enjoy being there, they want to be there. But 7 a.m., we walk in, we clock in, we have our little huddle in the morning. How was your evening? Did your kid do this?
It's a family.
It's a family.
Right.
It's always been a family.
Has that always been easy? Is it always rainbows and roses?
I mean, like I said before, there's things that we don't agree on, but it's her business. We're going to follow her, whatever.
And it seems like, Ida, look, so you're getting props from your family here, and one of your brother Jeremy has said she has also done an amazing job providing for our late parents. Ida is the backbone for our huge family.
Well, we all worked together as a team, all 10 of us when we were there. And I feel like we still are and still can do that, I may be the backbone, but I couldn't do it without these guys and all of my staff at work right now that are even watching this or having lunch. They're the reason why I'm here.
Did you ever think you'd get to 25 years?
No. Do you know how many times I've wanted to quit? And only because sometimes it just gets overwhelming to own your own business.
Right.
And like I said to you, Jerry, in the beginning, there was many times where, I had to make sure that my staff got paid, and I had to make sure that the computers were up and running, and all the things in the background that they don't get to see. But they're like my family. They are part of my family, and even the ones that aren't, real family, they're my family. I will do anything for them.
Give us the best IMBS story.
Lord.
Give us a good one, Carrie. And you can jump in as well here. Do not hold back. We can go rated R if we need to. We can keep it PG-13 if we need to.
Can I pinch her while
you can totally do that. We got a sound machine box right here if we want some sound machines to play. You guys each give us a really good story. A juicy, good story.
I don't know if it's juicy, but we did have a really good a day recently where we have IMBS day every year where Ida takes us out and just does something. Well, it's usually a surprise.
Okay.
She's big on surprises.
And just to honor the employees for the day.
But
That's
we went skydiving.
Really?
At iFly.
Indoor skydiving.
Yeah, indoor skydiving.
That's awesome.
At iFly, yeah.
Ida, you went skydiving?
Yeah, we all went.
Scared me to
tried it,
death.
yeah.
I did it once.
Yeah.
What was scarier, skydiving or doing this show right here?
The show.
The show.
Only kidding.
No, she's not. So what's IMBS Day? Tell us about that.
Every year, Ida plans a day. But one year we did a pay it forward kind of day where there was a bunch of envelopes, and the first one said, there's $100 in this envelope. Find somebody to give it to. Somebody you don't know. Go out and randomly find somebody to give it to. And there was, here's $50, spend it on the person's name that you picked in the morning, somebody else in the office. Here's $100 or something to decorate your desk, and it was just different envelopes and different things to do, and that was really fun. But I think my favorite IMBS day, and I'll pick on Ida forever for it, was we did a scavenger hunt around Charlottesville.
Cool.
and it was a photo scavenger hunt and everything. And one of the tasks was to find somebody in uniform. And Ida said, "Oh, what about this nice gentleman over here in the orange jumpsuit?"
Was he a prisoner?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was doing cleanup. So we don't let her live it down. We tell her about it all the time.
She's very trusting.
That's a good quality most of the time. So your husband is watching. I don't believe your husband has a Facebook page.
He does not.
Okay, so he's on the Ida Thornton Facebook page and says,
Yes.
"Way to go, honey, you look great." He's watching right now.
Thanks, honey. I did not pay him to say that either.
I know. And Erica says, "Dad says, way to go, honey, you look great." Make sure this is said on air. Guys, if you want to relay some props to the ladies, just put it in the feed. How about the importance of family? And I'm not talking the family that works within the company, but the family and supporting you along this journey. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times my wife and my son, in fact, it's almost like every weekend, where my wife and my son are in here for some reason or another every weekend, either a Saturday or Sunday, whether it's a client who needs something, or I forgot to do something, or I didn't have the time to do it, so I had to come in on Saturday. So next thing I know, I'm like, yes, we can go have some brunch, but we need to go by work for about 45 minutes beforehand. And my son's like watching Netflix, like Dora the Explorer or Blimpie on television. And I'm sitting over here doing work, and my wife is like, I can't believe I'm here again. Put in perspective, like the family that's not associated with the business and how they've been supportive along the journey.
Well, as you know, everybody tries to say don't hire family. Nepotism is not a good thing when you have a business. It was different for me because I trust my family. I love my family. And I think I'm a good judge of character. Obviously, I wouldn't hire a family member who couldn't give back what I believe in. And my family, I could not have done this without them. I still can't do this without them. I mean, ask my husband, Tom, who was a police officer for 28 years in the city of Charlottesville and Fluvanna, and now he's scanning for me. Thank you, honey, so much. Because we're short-staffed because of, COVID and everything else. We're short-staffed. He comes in 3-4 times a week and scans our documents for us.
It's awesome.
Still. And I mean, he was there stuffing envelopes 25 years ago. My daughter, who is our project manager, who lives in Northern Virginia, she does all kinds of stuff for us. And Tyler, my son, who is Carrie's husband, you don't know how many times he's come in that office to fix something or take something somewhere, or, just whatever we have to do. My brother, Krista, we all painted the office together, awesome. Every weekend when we get a chance. So, I mean, family is everything to me. And I consider my family the most important thing in this world. And I consider my work family the second most important thing in this world.
Well said. Donna Green says, "Carrie Thornton, you look smoking hot."
Oh.
Yeah, Donna Green says you look smoking hot. Marissa Robinson, I'm married into the family and I couldn't ask for a better one. Stephen remembers stuffing all those envelopes all those times.
My nephew,
on
when
the
they
front
come
row.
down.
No, I see that.
You come to my house, you're stuffing envelopes many years ago.
What ladies, what are the holidays like? Do we have an IMBS rule in the holidays where you can't talk IMBS? Is that the case?
We do all the time.
Yeah?
Our husbands
out.
would rather us
not.
But yeah, we do talk about it.
So,
we do at the table.
constant talking?
Not constant,
No?
but it comes up.
It comes up.
It's hard not to.
What are the holidays like at your house? I mean, you got a ton of people at the holidays, right?
Yeah.
It's always fun filled. It's always, good food. It's always fun games, grandkids running around. I have 6 grandchildren now, and it's the best on holidays.
Yeah?
It's fantastic.
Same.
And IMBS Day, at IMBS Christmas, next Wednesday we'll be having our Christmas at our house
party.
this year. Christmas.
Wait, you have IMBS Day and then IMBS Christmas?
Well,
do.
it's like a Christmas party.
Good
a
Lord,
Christmas
that's
party.
great. I need to work for you guys. We have an occasional a cold beverage at work day is what we do here. Judith's rolling his eyes over here. You guys do it right. How about I ask all our guests this? How did you guys manage the pandemic? How did it impact things? How did you adapt and overcome?
It was rough. We lost some employees because of it.
Yeah, it was. I just got assistant manager right before it,
Yeah.
and they said it'll start on this day, and then stuff started happening, and I just said, "Welcome to management. You started 2 weeks ago."
We had to close the office for a couple months, but still come in. Like, we try to stagger our employees.
One or two people there.
Yeah.
And everybody worked from home. Now, our business never stopped, and we never shut down as far as completely shutting down the business for months and months and months. It was a week or 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And we were still working from home, yes.
And we were all working from home.
Yeah, we got through it.
How about because like IMBS, I can tell already, has just like the best work culture. And like there's great energy and it's contagious. And I would imagine when the phones are ringing and people are talking and you're working, there's like this palpable buzz in the air at IMBS here. Did you guys miss going into work and being around each other? And the next part of the question would be, folks are saying like the new work norm could be this hybrid or work from home, which I can't get behind because like Zoom and virtual communication is just that. It's virtually as good, but not as good as this.
That's right.
Your thoughts on this? Anywhere you guys want to go on this topic?
I agree with you. I can't get behind it either. I like going into the office. I like interacting, mostly because it's 90% of the other communication I have besides kids than in my life. So I could not come to work.
It was very, very difficult to manage everything as well, making sure that we didn't miss a step. Mm-hmm. That was really hard. I mean, some of us were running in constantly when nobody was there to check on workloads and making sure things are done. And Krista's constantly monitoring what's being done on reports and stuff. It was really hard to manage. Mm-hmm. And the technology at that time was hard. I mean, we had some that were living way out in the country that could have had to literally one of my staff members, bless her heart, would drive to the high school because her internet wouldn't work and sit in her car and do her work. We managed, but I don't ever want to go back there.
No.
What do you think, Krista?
I mean, there's perks to working at home, but there's also being in your office where you have all of your supplies and everything is where it is and
your comfort place.
Nobody's moving anything. It's just your space, and I really do like to just be at my desk and have everything at my disposal.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to get me into some trouble with my wife, but you know what? What's new? How about the getting away from time to time from the kids and the fan to go to work? I mean, some Mondays, that's a treat, is it not?
Absolutely. Like, no, I mean, I can't work with them there anyway because it's constant. Like, mommy,
it's hard
mommy,
to concentrate.
Mommy. Yeah, they need things all the time. At work, they don't need as much.
But the plus was you get to wear sweatpants.
That's true.
While you're sitting Zooming.
That's true.
Okay.
So you're saying anything that matters is waist up? Is that what you're saying? Because it's on Zoom. Ida, are you wearing sweatpants right now? No, she's not wearing sweatpants right now.
I don't go anywhere with sweatpants.
I know she's not wearing sweatpants, guys. How about you're a woman-owned business, and look, we got the next generation that potentially could be leading IABS right here, all women. Put that in perspective and the importance and the influence of that. Like, you are a leader and you're showing like the next generation, like our kids, of women that they can get into business themselves and be a business owner as well. It does not have to be a man that does it. I mean, have you thought about that?
I have thought about that many times. I mean, I feel like it's not just women, it's men, women, anybody who wants to do this can do this. Is it hard? Yes. Can you do it? Absolutely. You just have to have the will, the knowledge, and you just go for it. What do you have to lose? Right? What do you really have to lose? You can just go out and find another job if it doesn't work. But in your mind, when you're going through this, you're going to make it work. You're going to make it work with the help of the Small Business Administration, with SWAM, with so many people in this community that helped me get through it. And now we're able to give back. We're giving back to Fluvanna Social Services every year at Christmas time, and the Toys for Tots program. We've done so many different things. PVCC, we're partners with PVCC, and we help teach the students there the HIMSS program. So they come in and intern with us for 40 hours to meet their program. So I'm able to give back to the community. That is the most important thing to me, and all of our staff are so happy to be part of that as well.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Great answer. How about continuing Ida's legacy? Do you guys think about that and the pressure and the responsibility that comes with continuing a family business that was launched in the basement that is now responsible for so many people?
I mean, I think that it's it's kind of smooth sailing from here. We have our
She kind of
clients
did all
and
the
everything.
legwork.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
We
not
just
like,
have to help build it.
right. she did all the hard work already, so we're just kind
The
of
good thing is that they
Yeah.
believe in my story. They believe in my mission. They know what I stand for, and I won't back down on those standards. And I think that it's real easy in this day and age to go backwards a little bit and say, oh, well, everybody's doing it this way, let's do it this way. Customer service is the most important thing to me, and our providers know that, and I've spoiled them, and they've spoiled me, and I want them to continue that way. I don't want to change.
You have, Bruce Arnold says, this is so cool. We have 5 states watching the show. You have, it looks like 2 hospitals watching the program here, members from 2 different hospitals. We don't have to go down this road if you don't want to, but some of your family has given you props for being the backbone of your family and for really helping transition the family with the passing of your mom.
Yep.
And I know that happened recently.
Yes, sir. Last month.
You know, family coming together at a time of hardship. You saw that last month.
Yes.
Put that in perspective for us, what it means to you and what you learned again, how, of course, blood is thicker than water.
It is thicker than water. And again, back to, the nepotism or hiring people, but you hire people that you trust, and most family that you trust. Our family pulled together for the passing of my mother in a way that I've never thought would happen. I mean, everybody has their, family members that some can do more than others. But during that hard time, we all knew what the main goal was, and that was to make Mom happy. She wanted to be at home. She insisted that she go nowhere, and we pulled together and made it happen. So,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
had her last wish was to be at home, and that's where she was.
We have comments coming in from viewers and listeners. Grayson is a regular watcher of the show, and he has this question. What do you think the future is for medical billing as the space evolves? It's a good question.
It is a really good question. I think that it's going to just get bigger and bigger. The policies and procedures change all the time. New things happen all the time. And so as long as we evolve with the change, I think we'll be able to continue to grow.
What do you think, Carrie?
I was going to say the same thing. It's like our industry is constantly changing anyway, but we're really good at rolling with it and just in changing with it.
And we take some of the pressure off of the provider to have to know that up front.
Right.
If we learn something new's coming down the line, we inform all of our providers so that they're in the know before it happens as well.
Kelsey Klein has this comment. As baby boomers are aging and getting older and having the health issues that come with age, I would think that's been good for this business and its trajectory. Has that been the case?
I would say yes. I mean, we have a lot of family practices that we do business for, which they see a lot of the elderly generation. And with COVID, we've seen a lot of mental health, and we've increased so much. So our providers are overwhelmed and doing their best. And I thank God that we did have the telehealth system up and running so that they could work from their homes and treat their patients.
Yeah, there was no slowdown. It actually almost seemed like it got busier when they introduced telehealth. It was able to reach more people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What does the community mean to you? Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Fluvanna, Palmyra. I mean, what's this community mean to you guys?
Go ahead.
I love Virginia. I mean,
Me too.
my husband's not a big fan, but I grew up in Pennsylvania near Lake Erie, and my husband grew up in upstate New York, so I don't miss the winters. So I like it here. I mean, I like the area.
How about you,
I
Karen?
love the city. I love Charlottesville. I love this. It's beautiful. Again, my husband probably wouldn't know. He was a cop in the city of Charlottesville as well. But so he's seen the ugly part of it. But I love it. I love it.
I think with Charlottesville, it's such a different culture. It's such a different feel. And it's a medical community, which was one of the reasons why I had an idea.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm in with 2 hospitals in this area. I think I'm going to try this kind of thing. So it's got so many different diverse businesses in Charlottesville that anybody could do anything.
I agree. I totally agree. Bruce says it's so nice to hear Ida sharing all this, as she is usually such a quiet and humble person. She's doing an excellent job. More
Thanks,
comments
Bruce.
coming in, and if you guys want to give them some props, put them in the feed. So Ida, what is the next stage for you look like? I mean, what is the next stage? I mean, you've put so much sweat equity into IMBS.
Yeah.
And IMBS is doing extremely well. What does Ida Thornton do now?
Well, I have cut back. I've
Yeah.
cut back my hours some, which took a lot for me to do. I was working, in the beginning, 60, 70 hours a week, and now I'm able to focus on me. I love to play the piano. I love to read. I love to be at home making crafts. They all know I love crafts. I just finished 20 candy canes from my front yard. So.
What were you going to say?
She's a very good baker too.
Yeah,
a good
and I like
baker.
to bake.
We love when she bakes cakes and stuff and brings them in, cupcakes, anything.
Yeah, we eat a lot at IMBS. It's unfortunate. I just love doing things that make me happy, and I love spending time with my family. And Tom and I like to travel, and we had a wonderful trip to Italy a couple years ago. And so we're waiting for COVID to be done so we can continue to travel. Stepping back, it's really hard for me, but the good thing is, Jerry, that even with my mother's situation, and I was gone for almost a month and a half, I never thought about work once because of these two. And because of my staff in the office, who I trust, and I knew my business was still going strong, whether I was there or not.
About stepping up, Carrie, like when she was with her mom the past month and a half.
It's it's taking her a really long time to cut back this far, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how long. I don't know.
It's hard to let go.
It is. It's
I
hard.
mean,
It's hard. And I understand. It's
Yeah.
it's your baby. You know.
But I trust them enough,
Yeah.
and trust me, I mean, I was in the work every day, and we only work 4 10-hour days. So it's a long day, but then we have a longer weekend. Everybody seems to love that. But I feel like stepping back is what I want now. It's just, I still want my little foot in there to do, just to make sure that I can still run a computer, I don't want that to go away.
Yeah, 100% get it. I 100% get it. What are the challenges that you guys face? How's staffing? A lot of entrepreneurs and clients that we have on the show or on our roster cannot find staff to
Yeah.
work. And like COVID has put like even more like headwinds and difficulties in front of them for finding staff. Has it been the case with you guys?
We haven't had to hire in a while because COVID, but we're probably going to get to that point soon that we have to. And I've heard, around that it's hard. Like I hate interviewing. Like it's awful, but I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to get hard. Be hard to get in place. Luckily, right now we have a really good
Staff in place.
right now.
Everybody gets along.
Yeah.
And the last time we hired was a little over a year ago, and you'd be amazed at how many applications you get that they don't show. They don't call.
Yeah, we book 13, 14 interviews in a day, and 2
Yeah.
show up. And so that was really difficult when you're looking for someone.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well,
At that point, it was probably the unemployment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they were just using the interviews to meet the unemployment
Right,
criteria and
right,
getting
right.
the money from the government.
Right.
That's pretty much what it was, wasn't it?
That
That's
probably
exactly
was
what it
because
was.
it was a year ago,
Yeah,
so they were definitely
it
getting all
could
the
been.
extra.
Yeah.
But we'll be looking to hire soon, down the road here, and we hope that eventually people will get more comfortable coming out in the community and wanting to go back to the office.
Yeah, it's hard to get even if there are a lot of candidates, it's hard to get the right fit, the right person who fits it with our personalities, with our office personality, and who also is knowledgeable or competent enough to learn it.
What were you going to say?
I didn't know medical billing when I started, but you have to have a love for it. I mean, you have to enjoy it, or it's just gonna.
Or an open mind,
Yeah.
like you have to have
Yeah, it's a
if
lot
you
of
don't-
details.
Yeah. What do you think for the next 25 years of IMBS? How do you guys get there? Have you thought about that?
No,
No?
no idea.
Ida has a picture of a fancy office on the wall or in the cubby at the office. That's the future of it.
When I
Oh.
first started IMBS, I posted my picture of what I wanted my business to look like eventually down the road. And it's a conglomerate picture, a corporate glass
building.
staircase.
Yeah.
That's when I first started. When we were smaller and we grew to where we are now. It was kind of like, oh, we did it. And eventually we're gonna probably want to more, but right now we're.
But Jerry, we moved IMBS from the basement to a 1-room office.
8 by 8.
8 by 8. Then we went up to a dentist office, which had 4 rooms in it, and we had 4 people, 5 people. And then we moved again. We moved 3 times in Charlottesville before we finally bought our office up on Pantops. So
Yeah.
it took us a good, well, we've been in that office, 12 years? So it took us up until then of moving to say, okay, we're settled, we can do this.
That is so legit. That is awesome.
Yeah.
What was it like buying the office?
Oh, it was
Is that
scary.
scary?
Awesome.
It was scary. It was an empty shell, a 3,000 square foot empty shell, and Carrie's dad is a contractor.
3,000 square feet. That's a good size office.
Yes, so it was a pretty good size office, and we designed a plan, and he built it all for us.
Can
It's
you
awesome.
believe you had an idea in your basement, and now your family's working for the idea that you had, and now you own commercial real estate tied to the idea that you have?
Yeah.
And you can go, granted, I'm sure you wish it was different circumstances, but not be in the office for a month and a half, and it's still clicking and working? I mean,
Yeah,
how awesome is that?
I'm very, very proud of my business and my family and my staff and even the providers that I work with. We wouldn't be here without them.
I'm so impressed.
Yeah,
I love it.
thank you.
I think it's so awesome. I love the positive stories that
And you
happen
even
here
have
in
one
Charlottesville.
yourself, so you're here.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, we're not close to as tenured as you. Just 13 years for this little business, but I remember launching the business, and I launched mine out of the condo I was living in at the time, and having clients come in there and would have to clean up before the clients got in there. And I just appreciate these success stories because I know how difficult it is to
Thank
do
you.
this, and like the sacrifices you have to make. Put in perspective the sacrifices you've had to make to get here. For us, one vacation in 13 years. And it was
Yes.
our honeymoon, and we came back knocked up on our honeymoon. So that was like another job that started with Trey.
Well, I already had kids, so that wasn't. I mean, it definitely is a struggle. There were times, say, when the server died. You got to have a server in order to be able to do this business, and you're talking $10,000
Yeah.
replacement. I was freaking out. It was a weekend. I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have that money. But you have local banks, people that are willing to know that, they'll follow your story and say, okay, we're going to give you this money kind of thing. And I never wanted to borrow money, and I've only borrowed money once in 25 years.
That's awesome. Was it the server?
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. That is great.
Yeah, so I mean, those kinds of things. So that's why you rely on your community, and you build great bridges with the people that you live with and live near.
Mia, is it Signoretti?
Signoretti, uh-huh.
Ida was the one who got me started into my medical coding career. I thank her for hiring me years ago. Thank you so much, Ida, for
Thanks,
hiring
Mia.
me and for the support. Craig Lunt, hello. 6 states on the feed. We can take some more comments and questions here. What would be the advice, Ida? Bill McKenzie, hello and welcome to the program. What would be the advice that you would give to, say, a granddaughter or a niece or someone that's looking to get into the workforce that is curious of starting their own business? What would you say to them?
Do your homework. It took a vision, it took an idea, but I had to do a lot of homework. I had to know if this kind of business would work in this community. And since we were in the medical community with both hospitals, I really felt comfortable that this could work. Know the kind of, what's your passion, what's your love. I love the medical field. My sisters are nurses and CNAs, and I've always wanted to be in the hospital. But then when I went to work for a small family practice, I just loved it. I loved the feel of it. So know your surroundings, know what's available, and rely on your resources, because if it wasn't for the Small Business Administration and for SWAM and for a lot of the community businesses that I got a lot of information from, I couldn't have done this.
Do you think it's gotten easier to start businesses?
No,
Or-
I think it's much harder now.
How come?
Well, because in financing, if you need financing, I didn't need financing, but that's really, really hard to come by now. And then just the marketplace, it's saturated with certain businesses, so it's really hard unless you really have a special product, a special need. It's really hard, I think, for a lot of people.
Do you think this community is got a good foundation for a business launch? I know with your particular one it did, because of the 2 hospitals. Therapists are, everywhere in this community.
Yes.
Medical professionals, very popular in this community. But do you think the community is set up for entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. And it's because, number one, we have a lot of the young generation. They've got great ideas. There's so many new things that are happening that anybody could go out there and say, hey, let's try this and try it. It can't hurt to try. There's a lot of stuff out here that I see. Technology, it's amazing.
So comments coming in for you guys. This is from Max, and he says, what's Christmas like with their families? We've touched on this already. Give us some take into Christmas for you guys now that we're in December. Kara, you want to hit that one?
Yeah, I mean, like anybody else, I guess, except for there's some work talk at the table.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
We play games. We have a good time.
Work Christmas's games.
Yeah.
Ida always has fun games. She's very crafty. We play games. We do Secret Santa. We do the sock game. You fill socks, Christmas socks, with stuff like with up to a certain amount, and then Ida will read us a story, and we'll pass it left and right every time she
laugh
says it.
and laugh and laugh. And I mean, you're talking, sometimes they fill the stockings with those little mini liquors.
Oh,
like,
nice.
So the stocking's so heavy you can't pass it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can fill it with anything you want,
It's
you can
eating
put
a lot
dog bones.
and playing
Yeah,
games.
it's food and games and just
And just
hanging out,
enjoying
yeah.
each other's company and getting away from the office and the phones ringing and, paperwork. It's a lot of fun.
I think you guys are awesome. I think this company is fantastic.
Thank you.
Find them online at imbsinc.com, guys, and consider the businesses that are making the community better, like IMBS has, for your services and needs. Please, you guys did a hell of a job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Gary.
seriously.
Thank you for what you do as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. So 2022, do you have a trip?
No.
No?
I'm afraid to make one.
Because of COVID?
Yeah.
We need she needs a trip, right?
Yeah.
To travel.
Next on our bucket list is Ireland. So once everything opens up again, Tom and I will head that way.
Ireland sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Ladies, you guys were fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. We're truly grateful. Tomorrow on the show at 12:30, we have a good one lined up for you as well with Mark White and Russ from our friends over at the Boar's Head to highlight some of the things that they're doing for the community and to kind of get a feel for what they love about Charlottesville and Central Virginia. You guys kind of see what we're trying to do. We try to showcase the best of Charlottesville and Central Virginia on social media as opposed to topics that are like divisive and dividing. And from our favorite ways of doing that is to kind of give the spotlight to business owners, small business owners, and nonprofits, and people doing good stuff for the community, because I think that's more needed than ever. If you use social media for the good, it's an amazing tool. It really brings people together, but you got to use it for the good. I thought they were awesome today. The whole show, for those that are asking, will be archived at iloveseville.com. It's airing on every social media platform known to mankind as we speak, and we're grateful for you watching and listening to the show, and I'm grateful for Judah Wickhauer for being our North Star here on the network and keeping us online and on track. We'll see you tomorrow, guys, at 10:15 a.m. for our real estate show, Real Talk, and at 12:30 for the I Love Seville show. You guys have a good afternoon. Take care. Excellent work, ladies.
Oh, gosh.
Good job.
My face all red.
50 minutes in.
50?
Oh, wow.